Talk to us a little bit about what that's been like for them.
It's been shocking from them, from the very outset, and we're going way back to June 21. The Some of the victims tried to go through the chain of command and highlight their concerns with the chain of command, and they then got frozen out and then got bullied. And it's only out of complete desperation they came to me as a co-founder of the Independent Defence Authority and asked for advice as to what they could do next. I wrote to Air Chief Marshal Sir Mike Wigston, the then Chief of the Air Staff, on their behalf, saying, I think you've got a problem here. And it took me several months to get him to actually sit up and listen to that on behalf of the victims. And then he agreed to meet two of them, which he did. And then when he heard their stories face to face, he suddenly realized that they had a massive problem here and instigated these NSIs. But the whole way through, the victims were promised that it was going to be a victim-centric investigation and they were going to be informed and kept up to speed with what's going on. They only found out that this was coming out this afternoon after 2 o'clock, whenever a letter appeared from the current Chief of the Air Staff explaining what was going on, apologising to them and giving them a copy of the redacted NSI that we've seen. They feel let down, and that is an understatement.
I don't want to be too reductive here, but do you think it took having you, a man, to make the complaints on their behalf for them to be taken seriously?
No, I don't think it took me as a man, because the IDA, we're a lobbying organisation, and at the minute there are only three of us. Two are women, and there's me. By the nature of the roles that the others are in, they can't be the public-facing element of it, so that comes down to me. Any one of us could have got that through, and I don't think that's an issue. I do think the current Chief of the Air Staff wants to sit up and listen, and I have met with him personally, and this is one of the issues that I raised with him. But the whole underlying piece and the reports that have come out today, whenever you read through them, they're not victim-centric. They're focused on trying to understand what has happened, trying to suggest that they have identified these issues and that they are changing. But it's all internal. They're marking their own homework, and they're saying that they're changing culture. But we won't know, because they're the ones that are going to say whether the culture's changed. I'll know because outside, anecdotally, I get the reports through from other people. And unfortunately, this only goes through to 2022. Since then, there are more issues that have come to my attention. So the culture hasn't changed. What seems to be happening is, because there's more oversight coming in from the chain of command, from Chief of the Air Staff, issues are being swept further under the carpet. They'll just blow up again in the future.
And I just want to ask you to respond to George's point. George Girls in the studio, our defence and political correspondent from the Times, that this is possibly a wider issue, cultural issue, goes beyond the RAF, Philip.
It's a much wider issue. It's across defence. Defence has got some absolutely superb policies when it comes to dealing with inappropriate behaviour and other things. It's got some areas which need to be looked at in great detail, and they haven't taken recommendations of independent reviews as to what's going on, in particular with the service justice system. And I don't know why Defence seems to ignore all the independent reviews that say this should be dealt with by the civilian police and not by the military police. But we keep seeing examples with the Royal Navy Submarine Service, for example, the Army at the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst, at the Royal Artillery headquarters at Larkhill. We've had a young gunner commit suicide because she was being approached inappropriately by her seniors at that. It's happening across defence. And whilst defence has got great policies, they're not being implemented, but the chiefs at the top keep getting told they are. But that's because at every level, defence marks its own homework. There is zero independent oversight, and it's only whenever it blows up and they have to come out to people like me and to get their stories into the press is the only way that we ever find out about it.